Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series brought to you by Patranya Media LLC and Parkway Media Partners. I'm your host, Patranya Bhoolsuwan. Well, today we're talking about something that affects all of us. And of course, we're talking about money, from Medicare and Social Security to taxes, retirement planning, and business finances. Navigating the financial world can feel overwhelming. And sometimes the hardest part is simply figuring out where to begin and who to trust. And that's why I'm so excited to be introducing you to two entrepreneurs who have made it their mission to help people better understand their options and make more informed financial decisions. So let's welcome our guest to the show today. We have Kim Nguyen. She is the founder of Medicare and Money. And also we have in the studio with us, we have Sonny Tran. He's president of SunSource Financial. Welcome, Kim and Sonny, both of you to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
Great to see both of you. And you know what? It's so great to have you both here because you guys bring such expertise to the program when it comes to money, of course, but in many aspects of money, as you can see from the title of your company, Kim, Medicare and Money. So we're going to be talking about both of that. And also when it comes to tax strategies, then Sonny is the person to really get into that and see how they collaborated over the past 3 years to make their services so appealing to so many people all across the country. So, Kim, I'm going to start with you. Medicare and Money. This is a really interesting name for a business. So talk to me about that. What made you start this business? And it's about, 5 years ago now that you started your company, right?
Yes. Medicare and Money, it's two things that actually will determine if you, as family, if you get to keep it. It's your health coverage and your money. So how I got started was at my grandmother's kitchen table. She was struggling over Medicare plans, struggling over Social Security. They set her an overpayment of $6,000, and she's only making $800 a month in her Social Security check. So to her, that was heartbreaking.
Right.
And it broke my heart. So when I sat with her, walked through it, long phone calls, Social Security, long waits. And, when it was all said and done, she looked at me and she said, Kim, you know the language, you know the system. Everyone's going to need this, not only just me. So I say, Grandma, I'm going to build this. So that's how Medicare Money came about.
So your grandma was the big inspiration, right? Into you wanting to help, not just your grandma, but so many people who are dealing with this. So talk to me about the people that have come to Medicare and Money for help over the years.
Yes. So the type of people that we have been serving were seniors and families. We served over 600 families as it relates to their health care, the health insurance plans, and then business owners who are profitable and who are paying real money in their taxes. And we we help them determine, is there some tax reductions that we could help them? So business owners and seniors and families are the two main people that we have helped over the years.
And it's interesting because when you think Medicare, and a lot of people think Medicare, they think, oh, you have to be older to deal with it. But this is something that you have seen through experience that we need to start thinking about Medicare and your money much earlier, right?
Absolutely. They're not separate plans. They're not in separate boxes. It's one conversation, one picture. And the beauty about working together with Sonny is that we bring that picture together. So you're not having 4 different conversations with 4 different people. You're having one conversation, and then from there we can decide, which lane do you need to go into to help become one picture for you.
And I think that's where it gets really overwhelming, I think, for a lot of people. And we're going to bring Sonny into the conversation here because, when you think about money, right? And now we had to think about insurance. We had to think about taxes. And, when you move and you live all over the country, no matter how old you are, it can become overwhelming and really taxing, pardon the pun, right? So Sonny Tran, so talk to me a little bit about your background and how you started your business, right? You're a president and partner of SunSource Financial. What does SunSource Financial do, first of all? And then how did you even get involved with Kim?
Yes. So SunSource Financial is a business strategy firm. Most people that meet me, they just assume that it's tax. But, where I started and the work that we still do today, we actually find people money that's already sitting inside their business. See, we work with established business owners, usually about 500,000 and up, and we help them fix three things in a specific order, kind of like a combination lock. You may know the number, but if you know the right sequence, you can't open it. And basically, it's sales first, and then it's finances, which includes taxes and all that, cash flow, and third, marketing. And we call it the cash flow trifecta. Most business owners, they run it backwards. They go ahead and spend money on marketing, try to bring in more things, and it solves a sales problem. But what really, the sales is kind of the problem. If you're not good in sales and you're getting customers to do it, it doesn't work. And it's a margin problem a lot of times. You're just pouring money into a leaky bucket.
So, really, you said you're a business strategy firm. Also, tax planning, tax strategy is big part of that business.
Yes. With tax planning, a lot of times we can find money that your hard-earned entrepreneurs are working, and they can keep more of it rather than giving it to the government, because the government's going to spend it on $1,000 toilet seats, as you know.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I really like your motto. Like you said, sales first, finance second, marketing third, right? And that's kind of the key where people need to think about, because you said really part of how people need to think, it's not really an income problem, right? It's how your money that you already have, that you're maybe putting it away in places that aren't going to be bringing back the money to you.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. So when people don't know where the money is, they're just doing what everyone, the status quo.
Right.
A lot of things that you can do, you can actually keep more of your money by using tax efficient strategies like the IRAs, the Roths, the 401ks. A lot of businesses use that. They can pay themselves, keep more of their money, and then have higher returns on that.
And Kim, before you even started working with Sonny, you knew that people are looking for solutions like this, but they needed to get kind of the right resources and information, and that's where you think the collaboration has really worked well together, right?
Yes, well, it happened to me. It basically at my own kitchen table, I had opened up an IRS letter, and here I am helping people not fall through the system, not fall through the cracks. I was falling through the cracks myself. So I called my CPA up, and she said something that opened my eyes. She said, Kim, I do compliance work. I file your taxes correctly.
Right.
I don't plan ahead for you. So what you need is a tax strategist, a tax advisor. So that was where, my pain was. So when I reached out to Sonny, by working with him, not only did I was able to learn how to read my numbers and lower my tax bill, but I had also doubled my income by using the cash flow trifecta that Sonny mentioned.
I think it's really cool to see. And talk to me about, and the people you work with, Kim, are they just all ages and like all kinds of different backgrounds and businesses? Can everybody who come in and start working with you and Sonny really can come from all different sorts of business, even if they have never done anything like this before?
Yeah, so when I started with the Medicare side, it was mostly the seniors, right? But then, of course, they have the adult children in the household.
Right.
They have businesses. So in that sphere, I was able to help not only the grandmoms, but then the mom, the dads that were taking care of the grandmom in the household. So that was where, I knew that the conversation had to be beyond Medicare. It had to be more than that. So the conversation around money was basically how to keep it what you earn. So that was where, when I had reached out to Sonny to help me understand my numbers, was where it opened my eyes to say, if I don't know this, how many other people don't know this?
And Sonny, you're probably not surprised, right, that someone like Kim, who apparently, on paper seems like the money expert, right, would make mistakes that many other people probably are doing.
Yes. So I think what you're speaking to is that with money in its most ancient form, it's just cooperation.
Right.
And people think that, hey, I just make money and I'm good. Keeping it is a different strategy, because the governments are set up. Those politicians, they do everything so they can pay less taxes. The tax code is written in that way so they can keep more of their money. One of the tax strategies called the Augusta rule. You know what that's meant for the politicians? That you play golf there? You know about it?
Yeah, lots of golf here in Vegas for sure. Yeah, so go and use that story.
Yes. So there's a rule, it's called the Augusta rule. And what that is like, a lot of people down in Georgia, as the Masters Open, they want to rent out their houses and not pay taxes. And they can rent it out for 14 days and not pay any taxes. And hence, it's Augusta rule.
Okay. So there are rules in the books already. It's just the matter of people not knowing about these rules and then not deploying it to their advantage, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's meant for wealthy politicians, and we're just trying to bring it to middle market,
Right.
normal people, because that's kind of what happened with me. My grandma died because we couldn't afford meat. That's why money is one of the biggest problems I wanted to solve, and how you solve it as immigrants as we are. We come here, we have the land of opportunity,
Right.
and we can fix things by learning and doing better. But then we have responsibility to help other people that don't speak the languages, just like when I first came to this country.
Yeah, and I mean, both your stories and your family stories really touch me. And Sonny, you were mentioning your grandma, who I think I read, she passed away pretty early in life, and I think one of the last things she said to you and your family was that she just wants to eat meat because all her life she couldn't afford that because of her financial situation.
Exactly. Third world country in Vietnam, that's where I came from.
Yeah.
You eat what you grow. We grew vegetables, and
Right.
that was it. She had 10 kids.
Yeah.
And that was it. And my mom was the eldest woman out of 10 to take care of. So when she died, my mom had to take care of all her brothers and sisters.
Right.
As not even a teenager.
And that stayed with you, right, Sonny? You felt that, that really stuck with you. You want to make sure that other families don't make the same mistakes that your families have gone through and can kind of use their situations to their advantage, especially if they're living here in the U.S. where, like you said, is the land of opportunity.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like why I got into taxes was I was a financial advisor at the time. And my mom had a CPA do their taxes, and they said they didn't need the prior year's tax return. And I was like, she has 30,000 of capital losses. You definitely need it because you have to take those losses against the income. Otherwise, she got taxed more. And after that, I was like, we're not doing this anymore. I'm going to learn how to do taxes. I worked at H&R Block. I worked for a CPA. I worked for a guy that worked for the IRS. So I learned the tools that they use and how to make it work for the normal person.
Yeah, coming back to you, Kim, and I know your website is medicareandmoney.com, right? That's the resource and I went through that website. There's so much information, and I think it really makes me think, hey, people, even just looking at a website, they can feel overwhelmed. So what is your trick, and what do you do in your process that's unique to your business that makes maybe people who are immigrants, people who don't speak English as a first language, how do they come to you and feel like, okay, I can do this, I can get this? What's your process?
Absolutely. So my grandmother taught me that speaking in another language is not just a communication advantage. It is actually you building trust.
Right.
Now. So with that, it's my responsibility. I take on that responsibility to serve my community. So with that, showing up every day, I have an office right inside of an Asian supermarket. So that we're there every day when they come in.
Right.
So they see us, they trust us. So from there, that's when we could start serving them appropriately.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not just language, right? It's the cultural barrier. It's understanding, see people who look like you and can, understand kind of where you're coming from. So what do you see out there, Kim? I mean, in this day and age, 2026 we're in now, right? I mean, what are some of the biggest problems and challenges people are facing when it comes to managing your money and in line, with their taxes as well?
Yeah, so when we sit down with a family, we're not translating words, we're translating trust. And with AI out there, there's so many variables and things that you don't know what is real, what is not. So that's the reason why, it is our responsibility now to be able to sit one-on-one with people. So when my grandmother looked me in the eye, she said, "You help me, now go out and help other people."
Yeah, and that's exactly what you and Sonny are doing, right? And Sonny, talk to me about that. In terms of you collaborating with people like Kim, why is that so effective in terms of helping people in your community when it comes to managing your money?
Well, a lot of times because Kim naturally helps people that need help, and she can translate it more. Just like when I got into the accounting field, they're just number crunchers. They think in computer programs and algorithms. Kim is a person, and she can translate financial jargon into simple language where the normal person understands.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big part. It's trust centers, like how Kim just reached on it. A sale or helping people transfers trust, person they like, and they know, and that's it. Because financial stuff is just financial things. Like she said, AI is doing everything now, and there's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
So with this, we can serve more people and more in the community. It's spheres of influences and people helping people that look like them, like you said earlier.
So Sonny, talk about the advice that you give to people these days when it comes to tax strategy and tax planning. You mentioned a little bit about your philosophy, but, tax is not something that we should think about, come April, right? This should be something that you should be planning for year round.
Yes. A lot of times people think it's like one time a year, but you want to plan it all year round, because when December 31 hits, you're done. Like right now, we're in 2026. I have clients right now reaching out to us to start tax planning. Like, oh, I think I might make too much money and I have to give a lot to the IRS, but I want to keep more of it.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, we may have lost him for a second. Kim, you're still there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we got you back. No, but Sonny, when it comes down to it, yes, you got to start thinking now before the end of the year, right? That's the key. That's the bottom line.
Yes. You have to do it now rather than at the end of the year, because that's when you have the opportunity to do it, because after the end of the year, you're done.
Right.
You can't move forward with it. It's during the time, because when you do your tax return, April or January of next year, the year's over already. You can't go back and turn back the clock. So it has to happen at that moment. And right now we're having people do it now for 2026 because they don't want to pay too much.
That's great. So Kim, I'm going to come back to you. So we're in August of 2026. We have just a few months really left, right? So what is your advice for people right now? They're looking to plan for next year, plan for the future. If they're going to reach out and call you or email you, what's some of the things that they need to start thinking about?
So a lot of times I start with questions. It's never an answer. So it's a consultation, and I would say, if you're only talking to your CPA once a year, then what you're doing is just compliance work. It's not planning. So if you only talk to your tax professional at filing time, you're just reporting history. So if you want to change if you want to change going forward, that plan's now. So change your habit to meeting them every 3 months. Asking questions like, what should I do before December 31st? Or, what can I do to change my tax bill?
Right.
So those are the type of questions I would ask now and not wait until later.
Right. And when they reach out to you, how do you kind of relay that to Sonny? And how do you kind of make that process as smooth as possible? And maybe people need this service and not this service. Do you help them kind of decipher all of that?
Absolutely. So as I said, it's a lot of questions. I open up the conversation as why we're here today to really understand what is the long-term goal, what is the short-term goal. And then when they start talking, all of a sudden they tell me, oh, I just sold a house, 2 years ago. I have a Roth conversion. I just sold my business. So that's where I have to start bringing in, my tax strategist like Sonny to talk more about how this is going to impact you. Your Medicare premium is going to go up. So that's where we start making the connections for them. And that's when they say, oh, boy.
Yeah.
What did we do?
You got to start the conversation early. And Sonny, before we go, I just want to come back to you and talk about, and just kind of maybe the last kind of, reminder for people. What do you want people to think about? What are some of the things that are happening now? Tax rules change every year. Things are always changing. What's kind of the bottom line advice that you want to get to people?
I think the bottom line advice is for the entrepreneurs that you're speaking to, you guys are great at solving a problem. All business is solving someone's problem and exchanging your time for theirs, what they work for, and that's money at the end of the day. And for us to live and work together, money in its most ancient form is just cooperation. That's all it is. So basically, for every business out there, just help someone, serve them first. So sales first, finances second. That's a lot of times it's cash flow.
Right.
So make sure you have enough money in the bank. If your expenses are higher than what you make, you're negative. Gotta get those loans and lines of credits working for your business.
Right.
And then finally, after you fix that, and operations and fulfillment, that means after you have your service and you can deliver the service correctly, number 3, then you do marketing, because you're just adding gasoline to the fire. And then it just gets big, and then in that order is how you're gonna do it, and you have more money.
Well, if you want to learn more about this cash flow trifecta that Sonny Tran is talking about, you definitely can reach out to Medicare and Money, and that's where Kim Nguyen is leading our operation. And Kim, so final word from you. What do you want to tell people out there, and just kind of what you've learned through your experience, and what do you want them to know about when it comes to managing Medicare, money, and all things financial?
Absolutely. Learn to use leverage your resources, leverage your relationship, finance leverage, other people's expertise. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to, go figure it out. So for example, if you need to go fast, do you ride a bike or do you drive a car? So it's the same effort, but the different results.
All right, some great advice today from Kim Nguyen, founder of Medicare and Money, and her partner there with this service that's giving people an all-around inclusive service, Sonny Tran, president of SunSource Financial. Thank you so much to you both for all your great advice and expertise today. And I know that you work with clients all over the country, right? So they can reach out to you at MedicareandMoney.com. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening to this episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series. And we'll see you again next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Perfect. Good job, guys. Thank you.